Here we go.
Oh,
Let me
okay.
just turn reverb and stuff off because we don't need that.
Do you need me to any of that again?
It's up to you, just recapping, because there's no audio with the live stream.
Oh,
Just
yeah, well, you could give like two sentences.
Okay, you got it.
So it's not like, hello, who am I?
Two
Oh,
sentences.
but we use this, right? Yeah, okay.
We will still use this.
Okay.
Great, you know. You'd think I would know these things, but I've been off for a couple weeks, so. David Joyce, head of the vocal department, glad to have you all here. We had Kenton Chen here, wonderful singer, an amazing resume. If you want to look that up, your jaw will drop. But we're glad to have him here to talk a little bit about the industry, about his part in that, and to work with a couple students. So glad to have you here with us today, online and in person, Kenton Chen.
Yeah, okay. You don't have to clap again, that's fine. Hello. Yeah, my name is Kenton Chen. I'm glad we have this size because I am here for you. So any questions you have, feel free to just like raise your hand because it's pretty much, I don't have like an agenda set out for what I want to talk about. And I'm here to work with you and to kind of get to know about you guys and give you the information that you want. But I can give you just a little brief intro into who I am. I went to USC, I studied jazz there, and then after that, in college, I did a lot of a cappella. And after college, I was on a TV show called The Sing Off, where we competed with a cappella groups against each other. After that, I was fortunate enough to go on a tour opening up for one of the judges for the show, Ben Folds, which kind of led and opened up a whole different career path for me than I had originally thought. I will say that as somebody that is a child of immigrants and was a very studious person, I did everything in my power not to do music. And so I studied and worked jobs and did lots of things that had nothing to do with it. And at every given moment, I always chose stability, but something in the universe just kept telling me, this is not going to work for you. And so I kept being presented with different opportunities to take the leap. And so when I finally did, what was really surprising to me, and it was a big trust fall for me, was that when I finally took the leap, I was smart to have savings and to live off that for a little bit, but it was like, it took a little bit of time, but I make more money now than I ever did when I worked corporate, and did marketing and all that stuff. And that's to say, like, I was pretty good at it, the office jobs and all that type of stuff. But when you actually have something that you cannot stop, band, they were paying like $400 a week, and I went for it. I was like, okay, but I get to sing at Lollapalooza, I get to do Governor's Ball, I get to watch Bjork, and like I've gotten to see, oh, the light's off. Is that good, bad? Should I wait? We're good? Okay. Hello, we're back. I'm just gonna ignore the fact that I don't know any lights. Okay. I'm just gonna pretend I don't know anything about tech and just go on. But, wow, this is very loud. Am I very loud to you? No? Oh, okay, well, okay. Oh, I see. Hello. It's up there now. And so after I took that leap, things led to other things. And one thing that I've learned in my career is that everything leads to everything. And that very early on in your career, you do have to take those jobs that are really hard and pay you very little. And, I was singing at Coachella one weekend, and then during the week I was waiting tables. Like, that's something that we just have to get used to and know that that is what you need to do at the beginning. And then I think the real hard switch for me was to find that moment in my career where I said, like, I actually have enough rest to actually focus on my career. So since then, I've done session singing is one of the worlds that I live in. I act in commercials, I act in TV, film, and I do backup singing still. I just finished about 3 years a stint with Katy Perry for her residency in Vegas. And then I was in Europe this last month singing, was the front man for Scary Pockets, which is like a internet YouTube kind of band. And yeah, so now I'm home and working on my own projects and still hitting the pavement like everyone else. Yeah, I think that's basically the overview of me. I would love to know just like a little bit about y'all. Like, what are you studying? What are you looking for? What would be very helpful for you if any of you feel like sharing? Yeah, please tell me your, should I have them talk into the mic? Is that helpful? No? Okay, we're just gonna do that anyway. Okay, here.
It's nice to meet you, Kenton. My name's Mari. I'm a vocal student here. I'm a second year now. I'm actually a bit older than most of the students here because I'm about to be 24 and I didn't know I was going to do music as my career for a while. I've been doing choir and opera forever, and now I'm switching to rock and roll. So yeah, it's a huge switch. I also have just found out through my time here that mixing is something that I'm not used to. Belting is something that I'm not used to, and it sounds like with the type of music that you do, you'd have a lot of knowledge in that and helping me figure out that, being less hooty, I guess, and all classical and how that sounds. I think I've made a lot of progress, but one of the songs the song I was going to sing for you today is a rock song that's got a lot of those high vocals that I'm trying to, I guess, just sound thinner on, But that's the ultimate goal. Rock and roll, especially like 80s stuff, is what I'm trying to do.
I love that.
Thank you.
You are gonna sing that, right? Okay, great. I'm very excited because that's something I'm very passionate about. I think, yeah, because I think that in so much of pop music and whatnot, like they want that raspy sound and they want all the grit, but you cannot sustain that over a long period of time. I will say with my experience with Scary Pockets, a lot of the stuff that we did, the videos, you're at the top of your range for a 2-minute 30-second song, and then you have to do a 2-hour show off all those hits. And so how do you sustain that over a long period of time? I was actually I was just over at one of the bassists' birthday parties last night, and like we were talking about this, and even for bassists, it's like they don't get to stop for 2 hours, and their fingers are falling off, and it's a really great endurance exercise as to how much you actually put the gas to the pedal, and you have to learn to shift gears, and especially as session singers, you really have to learn to shift gears because you're gonna have to be singing like for hours and hours on end just to make it sound like it's full force. So one thing I'm very passionate on is, how do we get that mix and get that kind of very pingy type of sound to cut through without all of that heaviness that comes with our voices. So we will get into that. Very excited. What about you?
Hi, it's nice to meet you. I'm Arya. I also have a background in mostly classical and choral work, and I also studied Indian classical for a hot minute. But now I am a vocalist here, and I'm also a writer. And one of the songs I'm going to be performing today is going to be something I've written myself. And I can't wait to get your advice on just the performing aspect of it, of being on stage and, being present and connecting with the audience, which I think sometimes is something that I find challenging, especially because you can't rely on the audience to make you have that energy. You have to have it so that they can feed off of you, and sometimes that can be difficult, especially when it's a smaller audience. So I can't wait to get your advice on that. perfect for today.
Perfect for today. Is anybody else?
Thank you.
Okay, great. Yeah, okay. I'm really, really, really excited to work with you because I think this is going to be really fun. I have a background actually also as well in theater school. And so I take a lot of what I have learned from the practice of acting and I put it into the singing aspect of it. And I would say like one of the biggest compliments I've ever gotten from someone was the fact that I was performing to like a room of what, maybe 70 people or something like that. And it was, the room itself was pretty big and there were people sitting on the floor and whatnot. And he said, you know, what he loved about my performance was that I was able to take the energy of the room and deliver it to everyone that was there. And part of that is the practice of performing to an empty room. Performing to an empty room and then performing to a giant, you know, 5,000 to 10,000 and being able to do that. You know, I think one of the festivals that we did in Europe, supposedly, honestly, I couldn't tell you. I'm terrible at seeing, at judging the amount of people, but I think they said it was like 50K or something like that. I can't. First of all, I can't see that far. I don't know if people are, but like, and it was raining. I don't know. They were like, there was 50,000 people. I'm like, we're there. I felt like there was maybe 5,000, but like, I don't know. But it's still different, right? It's like, do you send your energy all the way back there? Do you keep it here? Do you do both? Do you know, how much do you read the room and how much do you have to just pull it from your butt, you know, and just be like, I'm here. And that, where I think people that are just starting right now, I think a lot of you have a lot of, unfortunately, like you have a lot of time that you need to spend like hitting the road when I say like just doing live performances, especially people who came up, you know, right after COVID and all that type of stuff. It's like you don't have the experience of playing to room after room and after room, so we have to kind of fake that experience as fast as we can for you and have people, because we're now used to, you know, you have your friends coming to shows right now, you know, the smaller ones, and it's like that's what you get. But then what happens when you go to a different city? What happens when you get to a room of people? You know, you do like a showcase or a coffee shop, an open mic, and nobody knows who you are and nobody cares. You know, how do you pull those people in? And that is so delicious to me because it's stand up. It's like, you know, it's that same feeling where like nobody knows who you are, they could care less, and you have to get them interested. And not in a way that's like, hey, I'm gonna lift my shirt, you know, but like in a way that's like, what do you have to offer them? The more you sit into that, the more people are going to be drawn to you, because what people are drawn to is that confidence and that feeling that you understand something about yourself that the people listening wish they did as well. And that's what people are going to latch on to. Okay, let's see. So that was a quick, yes? Oh, yes. Hi, yes.
What you described when you talked a little bit about your career yourself, yeah, I connected with that a lot. Now I understand why you told me that I should come. but basically, I think this is my second week that I decided to make changes in my career, and I said I'm not gonna do this job anymore. I was working in the office here.
Oh.
And I said, okay, that's it. I'm going to do this. And I didn't wait for it to be perfect to do it. I just took a leap. I think for me, the question is, I know what I have to do to make it work, but how do you actually do it in LA where it's very competitive? How do you actually maintain or get those jobs that everyone wants? Like you're saying, you're doing session, you're doing background vocals. For me, background vocals, gigs, don't exist anymore. I mean, probably, but you know what I mean. So how do you get it? How do you work for it?
Ooh, okay, that's a big question
Sorry.
mark. No, I think many people are going to have different answers about it, and
Right.
and unfortunately, I think most answers you're going to get are going to feel unsatisfactory, because the fact of the matter is everybody has gotten to where they are in a completely different way, and just remember that it's this,
Right,
right?
right.
I can tell you, and I have, I had a friend who very early in his career, he took me to lunch and he said, like, can you just tell me, how did you get it? What are the
Right.
names of the people that you know, got your jobs from? And I was like, oh, uh, okay. And the thing is, like, I could list every single person that's ever given me a job. Is that going to help you? Probably not. Because some people, I've heard of people like cold emailing, cold calling people. They're not going to respond to that. They're not going to respond to that. Most of the work that I have gotten and the work that I've gotten other people has been, you know, a contractor or somebody that's hiring and says like, oh, I'm looking for someone that has this specific type of voice. I need someone with a very pingy voice. I need her to be short. And you're like, okay. And I would love someone who, you know, has like a soulful voice, but not too soulful. But, you know, and you're like, okay.
Ethnicity, age.
Yeah, and it's all over the place, you know? And so, but I have this Rolodex of people that I've known over the years. I just, because I'll go to things, you know? One of the biggest things that really, I think recently has really helped people get to know each other was the picketing. Was, you know, we were all picketing for strike, you know, and people were getting to know each other and talking things that had nothing to do with music, right? But just by virtue of that, I spoke to a lot of people. And I got to know like what they're doing in life and what, you know, and even something like this, it's like, you know, I'll keep it in mind in the future. Do I have any power to know what I'm gonna get asked about, what I'm gonna get hired to? No. But I don't know. Like next, I can say, let me see. The last thing that okay, I have a gig next week. The director of the gig hired me months ago for it because I've done something for him like over the years, and it's not like a lot of pay at all. Like these things are all pretty low pay, but one of the sponsors that's coming to it is like a big sponsor for a theater company. So I'm like, great. So when I actually have a show to launch, like I'm gonna go to them. And he asked me just last week, he said like, do you know, this is the type of music that we're looking for. You know what this entails, you know what the rehearsal process is like. It's really fast, it's quick. Like they gotta be able to jump in and just do it and perform. Who do you know that can do this? I have a list of like, you know, 25 people in my head that I like really enjoy working with. I recommended 4. I didn't recommend everybody because I know that world and I know the genre. This one was Motown, and I said, okay, who's going to be able to pull that off? I asked him who's already on the gig, and I looked them up and saw, okay, so what's going to match, you know, in that space. That's how I got my gigs. It's just, you know, trying to find out. I wish I could tell you the places to go now, only because, like, I think that's really helpful, but I know they're out there, and I've heard of them, and I know people are going to things now. And people who are going to these type of, like, hangs and the open mics and whatnot, everything leads to everything, right?
Right.
Nothing could come from it,
Connection, yeah.
or 6 years from now, you could get something.
Right.
I think I told the story last time of this. So I went to this commercial audition. This must have been 2012 or something like that. I went to a commercial audition, ran into a friend of mine from college. She told me she was having a birthday party that night. I was like, why not? I'm in my yes era. Went with her to her birthday party. She decided she was gonna go to a show right afterwards. I went to the show of her friend. Afterwards, we played ping pong with the band backstage, made friends with the drummer. This is months later. I got this gig singing backup for this artist who I can't even, I don't know her name. I don't remember anything about her. I just remember she was British, and I couldn't remember her voice or her face or her music. But I said, sure, this is gonna be easy. You know, it's chump change. I think it was like $50 or something like that. And I said, great, I'll just do it. This was over at Sassafras. I'm like up there doing my own whatever. And I look down, and there's the drummer from months ago that I played ping pong with, and he just happened to be there on his off time. He wanted to check out some music. This was a showcase for her for labels. She didn't get picked up, I didn't get picked up, nothing happened. But the drummer was like, I'm having a birthday party next week. Will you come sing at my birthday party? That birthday party led me to years of gigs. His sister was a booker. She had slots she needed. It was just like, I didn't even think about that, you know. And now like he's like I don't know if like a big producer, but he's a producer, and he works with different labels and whatnot. And sometimes I'll get pulled in to do stuff, and it's just like, how was I supposed to know that I was gonna play ping pong with this guy that I'm gonna be working with for years?
I think a better question was maybe, how do you see the industry is changing really fast? So how do you see, you know, the gigs as a background vocalist or as a session singer, just a working singer? Do you see it changing? Is it, you know, how do you see it in general?
I think we have to look at the trend and the model of what things are happening with actors. I think that because we're looking at so many different streaming services kind of folding into each other, right? The entertainment industry is kind of in a free fall. But it's contracting, but that's also because they overspent for so long. And we just have to trust in the fact that if we keep doing and working on our craft, and we try to build those connections now, that they are gonna come back multifold. Maybe not next year, but in the following years. There's a phrase that a lot of actors are saying, and like writers and producers are saying, which is survive till 25. Because this year has been nothing. Like there used to be, 75 pilots that were filmed in LA a year, and this year I think they had 3. So it's a very daunting time.
After the strike, you would think that, you know, and after
Yeah, it would like explode.
yeah, COVID, everything, you'd think that.
Yeah, no, I mean, the thing is, they packed up content to last until next year. And they're really risk averse now. And we think about who's owning these companies right now, right? And it's all like, everything's basically becoming meta-sized, right? We're all being owned by social media companies now. But in the same way that like everybody was signing YouTube stars and only like 2 or 3 of them ended up having careers, like there's gonna be an implosion of that. There's gonna be a need for art, and a lot of people that I know that were kind of middle execs at different companies who are now jobless are really starting to do indie producing. And I think we're really going into a time where, like, if you remember, if in the early thousands or like the 90s, like there was a lot of like indie stuff coming up, and everything wasn't owned by AMC, you know, and those type of art house type of movies are really doing well. If you kind of look at like, why is there so much horror right now, right? And those movies, because they're easy to produce and the budget isn't huge, but they're able to do some like really creative stuff. I think in the same way, music is gonna be like that. We are in an age where you do have to have a social media presence. It doesn't have to be huge, but you have to do something, right? And there is an avenue and there is a community of people that are looking for you. You just have to keep pushing ahead for it, and you have to maintain the grit to just keep moving forward. There are people that I know that are like huge TikTok stars now that I've become friends with, right? They had like a year of just posting 3 times a day and just like nothing. And that's very discouraging, but it's also encouraging in the sense that like there's no metric. And I think, not to get political or anything, but I think that the encouraging and discouraging part, depending on how you see the glass, right, is that nobody knows what they're doing. Nobody's coming to save you. There is no label that is going to invest money. There is no person that's going to change your life as a contractor or whatever, because everybody is looking to survive. So in that sense, like, make yourself indispensable. Make yourself easy to work with, and just show up, because there's always going to be an empty space. Someone's going to be on tour. Someone's going to get sick. Someone's going to whatever.
Yeah.
You know? Oh.
I just want to jump in just for a second, just to say that some of our students are really hard workers, and they're already seeing, it's like I came to LA from Europe or from wherever around the world, and it's like, if I can't, why is this not happening for me already? And it's like, gosh, you got to just think longer term than that. And also, just, that was so brilliant, I think. And it's a cliche, but it's true. Nobody's coming to save you. Not the department head, not the school, not a contractor. People are like, well, I met 3 or 4 contractors, but I'm not working yet. Why not? It's like, you know, it's going to be a little bit longer haul.
And you got to remember, like, these contractors, like, they're looking for work too. And oftentimes, like, you know, I've been lucky enough to know some over the years, you know, they have these, and they want to spread work around. They want to get to know new singers, but they might not have the opportunity to do that. And they have connections and not allegiances, but like feel responsible to people who literally are about to lose their house, you know, things that, like, they've got to take care of stuff too. So one of the biggest things that I have been working on, and I think a lot of singers that have been around for a while have been working on, is like, how do we continue to support each other as a community? How do we keep work in LA? Because even though it feels competitive here, we're actually competing against like a lot of different cities that are now undercutting and saying that we'll work, you know, off the card, we'll work and you can pay us through some other budget, and we will never, you never have to pay us another dime. And, you know, that's kind of tanking everything, and without any sort of protections. Yes. Yes.
I had a follow-up question that's perfect for what we're talking about.
Great.
One of my teachers has been encouraging me for this entire quarter basically to start gigging. She's confident that I'm ready to, but this is a world that I'm not used to, especially since while I'm trying to learn how to be a writer, I'm still learning how to do that. So all I have right now to offer is my voice for covers. And so I wanted to know if you had any advice on how to sell yourself in a way that doesn't sound like naive as somebody who's just starting to like put their hand out. Because I don't mind being the one to call places, and because her advice was to start visiting places, see what kind of stuff they're booking, and then offer up yourself. But I don't want to sound like naive about it. I don't know. I've never been a part of the gigging world before.
What's wrong with sounding naive?
Well, I just mean, like, I don't want to call and just be like, so I want to do this and this. What kind of instruments you already have there? Like, I don't want to go in, like, kind of not knowing what I'm doing and then get the response like, oh, you have no idea. You're not ready for this. You have no idea what you're doing.
Okay, well, there's open mics, right? You can go to those. There's jams that you can go to. One of the biggest things is going to these venues and literally looking at what they're booking.
Yep.
And being able to say, like, oh, I can do that. I have enough material for that. I've done this. There are also nights where you can go up and sing 2 songs. So then you don't have to think about that, and you know they have bands for that. And one of the things about those type of nights is, it's good that you're young. You are young, because you can be relentless, and it's fine. You know, like everybody is doing that, but you go to those things and you talk to people.
Okay.
Somebody does a really great job, right? And you say, hey, that was amazing. I loved what you did. What did you, where else do you play? Where else can I find you? How did you get into this? Not in a way of how do I get your job, you know, but more
That's
like,
what I was kind of worried about sounding like.
yeah, but no,
Yeah,
you just get to
being
know them, and
pushy.
you're like, and you just say like, this is so amazing. Like, what other places have you played? Da 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 da. And like, you know, you do enough. Some people might be a little cold and standoffish, and that's fine. Some people are, and that's just life, right? But then there are some people that can be like, well, tell me about yourself, you know, and they're and
Okay.
you would be like, oh, well, I'm just starting out. I'm getting into this. I love what you do. I would love to be able to do something like what you do. It's just so inspiring. And I would love to see how you got to where you were. That's it, you know? And
Okay,
like,
cool.
in the same way that, like, literally you're asking me this question right now, I'm like, oh, that's nice. I would love to share that because it was really hard for me when I started. I would love to make it not as hard. And I think that as singer-songwriters, as artists, like we're all looking for community. So if we have the opportunity to help each other out or to build a community of our own, we're gonna do that. And there are spaces that are very conducive to that. You just have to show up to things, and you'll start to hear more about it. You know,
Okay.
there's a thing that I just went to recently, although I think it already blew up too big, but it's called Jesse and Friends, and it's like a bunch of songwriters who write for big artists, and they get to have this night
I know. Yep.
where they sing the songs that they wrote for big artists.
Cool. I think Ella.
Yeah.
I think Ella just got invited back to that. She had done it. Yeah. This is her second time. She was telling me all about it. That sounds like a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun.
Cool.
And you don't have to perform, like, you know, because they have the whole thing, you know, but you get there, you see people, and you start to mingle, and you start to show up, and you do those type of things. I will say, like, as someone who has seen a lot of that happen, and was a part of it, and then also was then more established, it's very easy to tell who's coming from a good place and who is literally just there to use you. And I think that like, it's so clear because someone will come and insert themselves into the conversation and then say something like, so can you recommend me to da 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 da, you know, or be like, how do I get here? And it's that, and that is what's very clear. And that to me is like, oh, you're either naive or you really just don't care about anybody else, and you just really believe that like you're gonna, you know.
Yeah, I
but
don't wanna come off like
but
that.
it's just the genuine curiosity. And if you just show a genuine curiosity to the person you're talking to, they're gonna just spill. 'Cause like, we're artists. Of course we want to talk about ourselves. Like we're just gonna talk. So just let us talk, and we'll end up telling you everything anyway.
Cool. Thank
Does
you.
that
That makes
help?
it sound like a lot more possible rather than
Yeah.
so far away.
Hotel Cafe has a lot of great things.
I love
Monday
Hotel.
Monday is a night that happens every Monday.
Okay, I didn't know that. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. I really like that space.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Here, David, you should.
Let's hear someone. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, she was just up, so Mari. Yeah. I was just going to say one more thing about that, and I love that you said, you know, there's going to be people who are just like, you know, you can just get the vibe. I just don't want to. I'm not going to go there with you. I'm not going to share. But that's not going to be a win, and you're not going to want to be around those people anyway. So the more people that you're around that are open, then you're building that community, and that's the community we want to be part of anyway.
Yeah. And I will say, some actor said this recently too. Like, I watched so many people in my 20s get so successful so fast, and they were so good at networking, and it was so frustrating to watch. And I just felt like, wow, they're so good at it, and they can just like weave their way into a room, and they just got it, right? Why don't I have that? But that was a while back. I don't know where they are now. because at the end of the day, like, what's genuine is gonna stay. And a lot of them burned bridges with people when they found something better. And then it gets back and you're like, oh, well, that person's just gonna drop you the second they think they have something better, so why would you want to work with them, you know? It's not always gonna be that case, you know, there's certainly people that do really well in life that have that type of personality, but for the most part, like, if you just focus on having good work and you focus on building good community and being somebody that people, you know, are genuinely trust because you're a trustworthy person and you want to hang around, then you're gonna hang around and people are gonna want to work with you, you know? Okay, cool. Let me hear you.
Cool. Okay, we ready? Yeah. Thank you. To introduce, I'm going to be doing Led Zeppelin's The Ocean. You can start. They're just speaking. You're good.
We've done 4 already, but now we're steady and then they win.
Singing in the sunshine, laughing in the rain, hitting on the moonshine, rocking in the grain. Got no time to pack my bags, my foot's outside the door. I got a date, I can't be late to the Hellhounds Heroes Ball. Oh yeah. Singing to an ocean, I can hear the ocean's roar. Play for free and play for me, and play a whole lot more. Used to sing about the good things and the sun that lights the day. Used to sing on a mountain as the ocean lost its way. I don't know. Oh yeah. Hoo, yeah. Hey, hey. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Sing around, singing songs till the night turns into day. Used to sing on the mountains, but the mountains washed away. Now I'm singing all my songs to the girl who won my heart. She is only 3 years old, but it's a real fun way to start. Oh yeah, sure is fine. Blow my mind.
Okay. Okay, that's great. That's great. That was so fun. Tell me your name again.
Mari.
Mari. Okay. So there are kind of two ways I kind of want to play with it. Do you want to let's get into like the performance
Yeah.
of it
I'm
first?
still learning how to do that. That'd be great.
Because first, I think vocally that was amazing.
Thank you.
Like I think the pinginess and the openness I think has been so fun, and like if I were to work with you vocally, I think it would take too long because then I'd be like, okay, wait, that actually is really good. You know, like how do we thin it out? How do we do all that type of stuff? That's like a lot of stuff, right? But I think the theatrical aspect of it, I really want to get into the heart of. I want to get into the heart of Mari. Okay, I want to like kind of feel. Let's get to the heart of who you are first, and then I can figure out which way to push you
Thank you. Yeah.
into that. Okay, so if I were to ask you right now, why do you sing?
I have a tattoo about it.
Oh, okay.
My biggest inspiration ever is Freddie Mercury. Queen has been in my life since I was a kid, but so has been all of this 70s, 80s rock. Oddly enough, my stepdad was not musical at all in our family, but that was his taste in music. So I grew up listening to Led Zeppelin and Oingo Boingo, a lot of Cream, a lot of like Arya Speedwagon, Rush, just a lot of like proggy kind of stuff. So I always liked the entertainment aspect of it, being able to bring a lot of people together. I think while opera and choir was fun, and I've always loved singing, I never saw it as my career because I was just a person in a group in those situations, you know? I was never like the center of attention. But I think, now I remember the specific moment. It was right after like, I went through this stint of being homeless for a while. And one of my friends, who I consider my brother now, helped me get out of it. I was with them for a year and a half. They're still in my life. They're awesome. And I remember it was like, God, a couple days after I moved in with them, I saw a video. It was a Green Day concert. And they didn't have an opening band, but they weren't ready yet. So here's this huge crowd. I think it was like 5,000 people. And they started playing Bohemian Rhapsody instead. And so here's this entire crowd singing together, the harmonies, the everything. It's completely on point because that music, I mean, I know it's a very cliche song to use as like something that's timeless. But as soon as I saw just that and the like emotion that evoked and how it stayed with people for decades, I want to do that. And I want to make people feel the way that made me feel, in the sense that like, I don't know, I could do more. This is a really good way to be remembered, and that feeling felt so good that I wanted to share it. So that's why I do it.
Okay, so right now, close your eyes for me, and I just want you to imagine watching Freddie on stage. Describe to me in like 2-3 words what emotion comes up for you as an audience member.
In 3 words?
1 to 3.
Hilarious and campy?
That's describing him, right?
Oh, I thought the feeling that I got.
The feeling
because-
coming from you. As an audience member, what are you feeling watching him?
Euphoric, I think. It makes me want to be just like that. It makes me want to dance harder, I think, when I see somebody else go as hard as he does.
Okay, cool. So let's simplify that.
Okay.
Euphoric. What's another word that actually you can use that, if we're simplifying
Excitement?
emotions here? Excited.
Yeah.
Okay, euphoric, excited,
Amped. Just
amped,
very
full
amped.
out.
Yeah.
You want people to move. Okay? Great. So if your goal is Freddie Mercury, to be Freddie Mercury, and as the audience member of Freddie Mercury, you are incited to move, to dance, to get up, okay? Then that means your job is to then get your audience to dance and get up, right? I think watching your performance as it is right now, it's very enjoyable. I can tell you love it. I can tell there's a lot of fun. Where I want to push you now is to give you the job of making me get up.
Okay.
That make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, if we're gonna fully embody it, then we need to take this out from the practice room, out from the comfort of, say, your home, right? And to put it on an actual stage. I think the reason why I asked, I mean, I ask everybody, but also especially for this is because watching the way you perform right now, it works. I think it's really good if your purpose is to be alluring, if your purpose is to be mysterious, if your purpose is to have people be like, ooh, she really likes music and she can really sing and she's really enjoying herself. What is that? Who is that? But if the goal is Freddie Mercury and the goal is to embody that, then we gotta push you.
Yeah.
Right? We gotta push you to like keep your eyes open, to like make eye contact, to you can still have those moments where you pull into yourself, but if you're watching tapes of Freddie Mercury and you're watching tapes of the people that you talked about, right? Not very little of it. Very little is introverted. Right?
It's all very big.
Yeah,
I've
they
heard
may
they're
be
big
introverted in real
before.
life.
Yeah.
But when they're on stage, they're bigger than life. They're bigger than the stage. So, like, I would want you to imagine the band behind you, even in the smallest moments. You know, I would say someone, funny enough, someone that I think does a really good job of this that I just saw recently was Kesha.
Really?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how big or how small of a space it is. And not to, toot my own horn, but like, I sang backup for her for a little bit. And like, I remember like in rehearsals, in a space, like even on stage in a smaller audience, I was so confused. I kept being like, why is she so big? And I was like, this feels like inappropriate, right? This feels wild. But then I would go back and I would watch the tapes and I would watch my performance and I would watch her and I'm just like, oh, she gets it. She knows her audience and she actually reads as super vulnerable and super honest in how actually batshit she comes across. But that's her. And I just watched something of hers at Lollapalooza yesterday, and it's the same thing. And she does these kooky things, but she sells it because she believes in it. So what I want to find for you is, what is the weird stuff about you? What is the kookiness thing that like you're kind of embarrassed about, that right now if you did it kind of would feel kind of cute, right? And then I want to lead with that. If we can lead with that, then we can get people to be like, oh, I can't make fun of that because I don't have the courage to do that. I will say one of the biggest things for me, for the longest time, I don't know if that's necessarily true now because of the way I dress, but like I always came across as like super nerdy. And like, I have a very small stature, I'm short, I'm whatever. I used to have a bowl cut. That was also interesting decision on my part, but like it was the way I presented. I had these huge glasses. I was just like blind, but in a performance in which my job was to excite an audience, none of that mattered. I didn't care. I would get up. This was in the funk band that I was talking about. I would literally get up and we'd be singing these like super, we would sing Pony, and I would be like doing like full ass like jump squats, like from the floor, singing, grinding up on random strangers, respectfully, but But it was one of the things where I said, okay, this is my job. My job is to get you to relax. My job is to, what can I use that I know about myself in this situation? Well, I don't look like someone that is a threat. I'm very sweet looking. I'm cute, I'm whatever. So if I'm gonna come up to you and I'm gonna start doing some really weird, grindy type of stuff, you're gonna think it's actually not that sexual. It's actually adorable or like a little quirky, but that's as far as you're gonna get. You know, as long as I am still respectful of the other people, I use that to my advantage. I could come up right next to someone, put my hand on, you know, their shoulder, and they would be like, oh, hey, you know, and then I sing and I start doing some like real intense stuff, and they're like, oh. But that's what I use. I use the assumption, and I use what people see and what people think of me when they first see me. And I use that to my advantage. If I didn't look like that, then I'd have to play a whole different game, right?
Can I ask, I feel like one of the biggest things that I struggle with, and I've asked a couple people for their opinions, and the answer was usually like, use your audience, which does not help much because I don't know how. But when I don't have people to interact with on stage, and there's these big instrumental parts, I have no idea what to do with myself. And especially for as long, if it was just like a small little interlude, then like, yeah, you can like do something fun. But like the big solo that was there, I'm like, what do I do for 16 whole bars? What would you do if
Dance.
this was your space?
Dance. Use the space. Know that it's awkward and lean into it.
Okay.
Lean into it. I think in the spot that I think you started to get there, which was really nice, is I actually started to feel like I was in your living room when you were kind of doing this and playing with your hair and doing all this type of stuff. I thought that was really fun. I think go with that even more. I think because if you're using the audience and you're really connecting with them in the parts that you are singing, then in the parts where you aren't, you can either still engage, do some things, then pull it inwards. In that moment, you can either pretend the other person's there. You can do it to a band member, because you should, if they're actually there. But if they're not there, then yeah, put it in the living room. Dance by yourself, but have more abandon. Like, give yourself the freedom to be a freak. Because in that moment, we're all uncomfortable. Like, there's no way around that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's actually kind of, that makes me feel better, I think.
Yeah, like we're all, everybody here sitting here is aware that there's an instrumental solo going on that nobody's playing. We're all uncomfortable. We don't know what to do with ourselves, right? And if you are trying to ignore the fact that it's uncomfortable, it actually makes it worse, because then we're like watching you be like, this is not weird. Look at me. Don't look at me. It's fine. But if you're like, this is weird, I know. Oh my God, that part, you know? Or you're like, look at that guy that's not there. Like, that's funny. And then we're like, okay, this is interesting. You know, this is interesting. It's about exuding that confidence and pushing past the fear, pushing past the extreme awkwardness of it, and just letting yourself get to that space. Because what we want to get you to is the space in which people kind of talk about like that, I don't know if it's like nirvana, or it's like that space where you're not thinking anymore. Right? Where you're just enjoying the world that you created. Something that I do that works for me in songs and pieces where I feel uncomfortable is I create a world, and this is in practice, in rehearsal for myself. I create a world for that song, and I practice it many times in that world so that I have these quick little cheats and these little imagery, or just like a space that I can take myself to, so that in any moment in which I'm like, I don't know what's going on anymore, I can't use, you're giving me nothing, you know, I'm like, I don't know what's going on, then my brain can kind of be like, Okay, well, now your name is Jessica because I had that there and I'm singing the song to Jessica. You don't even need to look at me. And I'm now at a festival and everybody's shouting my name, thank you. And then all of a sudden, it doesn't matter, right? And people are just watching you make a fool out of yourself, which is great. Because if you give yourself permission to be a fool, that allows everybody else in the room to be a fool. And allows everybody else to like not care. One of the biggest things that I think is a big crutch that people think about is that like we're trying so hard to be cool, right? It's like so important in like, especially like this society, like we all want to be cool, but what is cooler than not trying to be cool, right? And just enjoying the performance. I think there were so many moments in which like you might have felt that like it was a little bit not cool and a little bit in your head, but actually some of those were my favorite moments because you were just like, I'm just gonna feel it. This is great. This is great.
Cool.
Okay, so let's push you a little bit. Is it okay if I start and stop? Yeah. Okay, so I'll just be like, go, stop, go, stop.
Great.
Okay,
Cool.
there aren't that many people here, but that's good for you. Let's pretend that this is like half filled, okay? But use the people that are actually here. And let's say I want you to get, what was your name again? Arya. Arya. Okay, so get Arya to stand up. That's it. Okay?
Okay.
We've done 4 already, but
Good.
steady and then
Use it.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Singing in the sunshine, laughing in the rain, hitting on the moonshine, rocking in the grain. Got no time to pack my bags, my foot's outside the door. I got a date, I can't be late to the Hellhouse Heroes Ball.
Is it working?
Uh-oh,
You don't know.
no.
So that's a problem. Okay, we can stop. So that is the first part of it, right? You have to be aware of if it's working.
I don't know what to change. I'm just trying to be bigger and make eye contact.
Were you making anything? I could have been singing.
tried
Like,
to metaphor.
right? Make your life easier. Right? But I will say you had the whole beginning of the song to already start working. It won't be easy, right? But the whole beginning was you prepping yourself. You could have been prepping her.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So even the beginning dance, you can do some type of thing, right? All you have to do is take a little look and a little wink. That's all you need. Just get her ready,
Okay.
okay?
Cool.
I'm only giving you one person right now. What happens when it's the whole room?
Then I use both my hands.
Yes. You can
All right.
talk. How y'all doing? Oh wow, that was bad. How y'all doing?
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is his turn.
You get what I mean? Like, you have all that moment. Okay, let's try it again. I know.
Now we're steady and then they went 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's good.
What you up to?
Yeah! Okay, great. So how does that feel?
Still a little silly. But
Yes, it does, right? It does. It does
I
feel
feel like
silly.
I'm playing a character more like. I don't know if that's normal.
Aren't you?
I guess so.
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
You don't walk around life singing, right? You don't walk down the street. You don't, I mean, I don't know. Do you talk to the barista and go, stomp your feet? No. But that's what your job is here, right? That's what you want from the audience. Now, there's other ways to do it, right? Okay, we're gonna open it up a little more so that
Okay.
you have a little more room. What is this song about?
That's actually my worst thing. I don't think about that a lot. He brings up what I assume is his daughter at the end of this, but I actually don't. This sounds very metaphorical, so I'm not sure.
Okay.
Maybe reminiscing?
So if you don't know, we know that you don't. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because then that's also a lot of the problem, is I'm telling you to get her to stand up, but with what? With what motivation? Because then it's like, I want you to stand up while I sing something I'm not sure. But stand up, I'm still singing. You know, because then the message is, stand up, listen. Stand up, listen. I'm not sure what I'm saying, but listen, right? So it's okay that you aren't sure what the song is about, as long as you decide what it is about in this moment to you. And that can be different from performance to form, right? But it's whatever you build this meaning to you with the song, and you build this meaning of what the world you're going to create with this song, and then that way, any given night that you perform it, whatever your real life experience triggers in you will come out in that moment. So why don't you just tell me the lyrics of like the first 4 or 5 lines.
Singing in the sunshine, laughing in the rain, hitting on the moonshine, rocking in the grain. Got no time to pack my bags, my foot's outside the door. Got a date, can't be late to the Hellhounds Heroes Ball. I assume this is about like singing about like his favorite things, but or at least the emotions.
You got your favorite date to the what?
The Hellhounds Heroes Ball is the lyrics I was given.
Yeah, what
they
is
look
that?
a little different whenever I've looked them up, but
Okay.
I assume that's more metaphorical, maybe about like a party that he has to go to that he doesn't, with a bunch of people that he doesn't want to be around. Maybe like you know how so many songs are about the music industry, but metaphorically. But then he brings up his daughter. He's talking about like singing about the good things and the sun that lights the day. I'm assuming this is about like his favorite things, or at least maybe hyping himself up with the idea of his favorite things for that thing he has to go to.
Yeah. Okay, so it's okay that you don't know what the song is about because it's confusing.
Yeah.
And I would say a lot of songs, especially from that era, is very drug-induced. And so nobody knows what it is. And so many songs that I have sung where I've had to do covers of it, I'm like, what the actual fuck is going on? I'm like, help, right? But you just decide, okay? So we're gonna turn this into a space for you. Okay, where is somewhere, okay, if you're gonna get ready for your party, let's make it a party you actually wanna go to.
Okay.
Okay? Like, what? Hellhound what?
Hellhounds Heroes Ball.
Hellhound Heroes Ball.
Heroes of the Hellhounds?
Well, Heroes Ball sounds fun,
Yeah.
right? Hellhound is just, I don't know, me and my bitches. I don't know, right? We're out here and we're gonna have fun, okay? And that's all it is, okay? So it's you hyping yourself up. You hyping everybody else in the room up. We are hyping each other up. Where would this space be then if you're getting ready for something?
With the lyrics that he uses to describe it, with the mountains and sunshine and moonshine, actually, I imagine a bit of North Carolina. I used to have a friend who had their own house up on a mountain up there, and oddly enough, they made moonshine all the time. So that's the first thing I think of when I hear those lyrics.
Great. Where is it for you?
Yeah.
If
like,
you are getting ready,
like if I'm on the porch and I'm hyping myself up for this party I have to go to, then I would probably be out there viewing this scenery that's very similar to what he's describing.
okay. Is this somewhere that you have been?
Yeah.
Great. Okay. So then put yourself there. Show me where this porch is and what are the dimensions of it.
It was probably, honestly, as long as these two speakers at the end here.
Love that.
It was kind of just straight. It was all wood. It had that kind of weird rail where there's like one here, but then the top one.
Great. Walk it for me.
It was just straight. And then it was on the side of a mountain. So it was pretty steep down, but it was just forest everywhere.
Great.
Kind of all green.
Great. So you can see the forest. Where's the forest?
All of it, all in front of me, all
This
of
is
it.
all in front of you. Good. And when you look up, what's up there?
Sky, usually a little overcast, but not too bad.
Okay. Usually overcast. What is it tonight? It's nighttime, right?
It's probably just a few big ones scattered around. That's what it was usually like.
Okay, yeah. So in this moment, just pick, right? It doesn't matter if it's like true, but it has to be true to you. So pick a night, you're here. I would love for, maybe there is, maybe you can feel like the precipitation, you can feel the wetness. This is
Smelling the rain coming. There's fireflies everywhere because there always is up there. They had two hanging lanterns at the end, so it's very lit up even though it's at night.
So I want you to start, when you start speaking of these spaces and you start speaking of you in songs and places, start putting yourself in the center of it. Okay? So you would say like, I remember that I had these fireflies and I look up and I see maybe there's the moon. Every once in a while I can see it poking throughout the clouds, right? And I can see the forest, I can smell the pine, and I can do all of that. So your job is to paint that while you sing.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Yeah. You're singing about things that may or may not have to do exactly with where you are and what you're saying, but I want you to show it now.
Okay. I will try.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm not totally sure how to do it yet, but I do know what you mean.
Sure. Let's take it out of context. Can you remember the key at all? And we'll just sing. We'll do one line by one line.
Yeah.
Here, let's just do the first line. Tell me the first line.
It was A. Hold on.
A.
Singing in the moonshine, or singing in the sunshine, laughing in the rain.
Great.
Okay.
So singing in the sunshine. Oh, so it's daytime.
Or I think I took that as him reminiscing about this.
Sure, but you can still be in it,
Okay.
right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what he meant in that moment. It matters what you mean in this moment. So whatever you decide, maybe one day you are reminiscing. But as I'm reminiscing with you about something, here's the thing. If I'm going to reminisce with you and I'm going to tell you about my childhood home, I'm going to talk to you about the stairs that were like with red carpet, and I used to run up and down them. And sometimes as a kid, I would kind of trip, right? And I would just kind of like roll down. As I'm doing it, if I'm singing a song about it, it's happening in this moment. I'm not reminiscing and then like just singing about my brain reminiscing. I'm literally painting, and I'm seeing it with my mind. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So as you are talking about this space, you are in it.
How does that apply to the amount of eye contact that
You don't
tends
have
to
to
be
make eye contact the whole time.
No, I know. I guess what I was trying to say was sometimes when I'm envisioning that, I'll get a little too in it, and now I'm not looking at the audience because I'm feeling what I'm singing about. So I'm not totally sure when it's appropriate to like do that and still keep up.
Well, think about when you were telling me about the porch, right? You described the porch. I asked you to walk it. I asked you to tell me about everything that was in front of you, right? During that time, did you make eye contact with me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you think about that you had to make eye contact with me to tell me all that?
No. I just felt like I was
No.
talking to you.
Yes.
Okay.
So just remember that as you're envisioning all these things, you're still talking to Arya. You're still telling her, and you're still checking in. Maybe it's not just Arya. There are other people in this room. But But like you're still saying like, okay, well there were the clouds and there was that moon, right? Do you see it? Do you see it? Do you see it? Get up. Do you see it? You know, like that. No, you don't have to get up. But you know what I mean? It's like you're still having this moment. And you don't have to tell her to get up the whole time, but you are saying like, okay, I'm gonna tell you a story. And I'm gonna tell you about this party that I had, okay? It was the best party. But here's the thing. That party was great, but it is nothing compared to the party we're about to have now, okay? Are you ready? That's the story, right? That's the story that we're deciding to tell now. It could be different for you another time. But in this moment, when your job is to get people on their feet, you decide what's the best story to tell. What is truthful to you?
I feel like I have a million questions for you.
Okay.
How literal would you be about painting that picture? Because I guess when I was used to doing opera, it was quite, or arias at least, when all you had was you and the piano and you had to sing to people, you were quite literal about what you were doing with your hands. So if you were talking about a flower bush, which is a real thing I had to sing about, I kept talking about the flower bush. So if I would assume that like, if I'm now trying to paint this picture, I wouldn't have done the walk again, because that's not going to translate. I wouldn't be like, singing in the sunshine. That's so literal.
Why not?
So, I don't know. I've been told that was wrong.
Why not? You don't have to. You don't have to, but you also could. I think that's part of it, right? When you're painting a picture and you're doing all these things, you could say, singing in the sunshine. You could point to the sunshine. That might feel a little cheesy. And if that's not real and doesn't feel right to you, then put yourself in the sunshine and go, singing in the sunshine.
Okay, good
I'm
point.
feeling the sunshine and I'm singing it, and now let me tell you a little bit more about it. Make sense? What are the next two lines? Singing in the sunshine, something in the rain?
Laughing in the rain,
Okay.
hitting on the moonshine, rocking in the grain.
Okay, great. Those are 4 distinct thoughts. So they should have 4 distinct body shapes. If you do this the whole time, I will not know the difference between those thoughts. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You don't have to point out everything. You can't laugh in the rain. You can laugh in the rain. You know? You can point out that moonshine. You could find another person and be like, you know what I'm talking about. Have you had moonshine? It tastes terrible. Right? It's bad. But you could be like, you know, moonshine. If someone that might like moonshine. Anybody like moonshine here? Oh, good for you. See, right there. Moonshine. That's all you need. You need somebody to agree with you. All we're doing is having a conversation. So why don't you just say the lyrics right now and just decide, pick a different person that you're going to interact with right now and just say the line to that person.
All 4 of them that you were just talking about, or just that?
It could be a different person each line. It could be 2.
Oh no, I mean, did you want me to say all 4
Uh-huh,
of those that you were talking about? Okay. This is hard.
It is. It's extremely vulnerable. But that's what wins people over.
Okay. I have no idea what to do. I would have done what you just did.
Great.
I have literally no idea how
There's
to start.
literally nothing wrong with what I did.
No, I just mean I have no idea what different, like how to start. It's different.
Singing in the sunshine. Pick somebody and just say it to them. And
Okay.
how would you communicate that? That's it.
How do I pick somebody if I'm not looking at them?
You can look at them. Yeah. Look at somebody and just say it. This doesn't have to be exact. We're
Okay.
not doing performance. We're just having you communicate. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, so just look at someone and talk about singing in the sunshine.
Okay. Singing in the sunshine, laughing in the rain, hitting on the moonshine, rocking in the grain.
Great. That's different. That's different than you just singing it, right? Great. Slow it down just a little bit and pick 2 different people.
Okay. Singing in the sunshine, laughing in the rain, hitting on the moonshine, rocking in the grain.
Yeah. How do you feel about moonshine?
I've never tried it myself.
Uh-huh.
I think the name is cute.
Okay, good. There was a little wink to that moonshine that you said, right?
Well, because you were talking about how
Yeah.
it's kind of funny that
Yeah.
it tastes really bad.
But we felt that this time. Did you all feel that? There was like a little wink to that moonshine, right? That is interesting. You had an opinion about that line, and that comes out. That's what we want. It's not as important what the actual story is as much as is her experience with the line. We need to know how she feels about each line, and that's what's interesting. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So I can write, okay, cool. So I'm like, singing in the sunshine, laughing in the rain, something about, I don't know, moonshine, right? And something in the grain, right? You can feel how I feel about those lines, right? Granted, I didn't say the lines correctly, but it's those different colors that then make the line more interesting, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, we're just gonna do that much and then we're out of time, but okay. I want you to turn around and be in your own world. You don't have to dance. You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do until you start singing.
Okay.
Make this your moment. Okay. And yes, it is awkward. It is weird. People are watching you. But the more you do it, the less awkward it becomes.
Okay. Right?
It's so silly. Just to, like, literally, you could just stand here with your hand on your hip and just wait. and see how that feels in your body.
Okay.
Okay? It's the power of stillness and the power to choose when you want to move. Instead of, here we go, let's do it, right? It's, I tell you when I start. Okay? Mm-hmm. Okay, can we start from the top?
Cool.
This is your show.
Yeah.
We've done 4 already, but now we're steady and then they win. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You can move if you want. You cannot move if you want. Great. Great. How did that feel?
A bit more natural, but I know it was smaller. I'm trying to learn for how to make bigger things feel.
Of course.
Yeah, but it felt more natural, just smaller.
Yes.
Really? Cool.
I know, we feel like as performers that everything has to be like, right? But you have to earn that.
Okay, that's
right?
a fair way to put that.
It can get bigger. You could listen if it was real to you, you could come in big. I have done songs where I literally come in and I'm like, and I'm like, come on, and then I sing and it's this thing. But then especially you're literally starting a song. Do you want to go full force? I think the only thing that I would change about that is I would have you open your eyes more.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
You don't have to make eye contact with everybody, but I would just have you open your eyes. There was that, when you're trying to like packing my bags, my leg, 1 foot out the door, right? That was such a cool moment. All you had to do was milk it a little more, right? With like 1 foot out the door, you could literally point your toe and just be like, 1 foot out the door. Right?
Yeah.
And then just have a joke about that. Right? And just be aware. and know that like you have so many shapes available with just the way you angle your body. Right now, a lot of it is like you want to move and you want to do this, but I would say like practice creating different shapes.
Okay.
Even as you're standing here like this, it's a really cool shape. You haven't done that while you sang,
No, I haven't.
right?
Yeah.
You can literally da 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 da, right? Something about the moonshine. And then all you have to do, you can tilt down, you can just do a thing back, grind, and then the grain. That's all you have to do. These little things will feel really big because you're not moving in between.
Okay, okay, that makes sense.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, 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 cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for being so vulnerable.
No, I appreciate you. I've got to get used to doing stuff like this. Are you ready for me to unplug?
Is there one that you feel more strongly about? Do that one. Okay, do that one first. Oh, is this the words? Oh, thank you. Ooh, this is cool. Nice, Mari.
Hi. So, I told you this already, but my name's Arya, and I'm going to be performing a song that I wrote called Frostbite. I'm going to be accompanying myself. Your arms hurt such, your kiss hurt. Lay my head on your chest, feel her heart in my lungs. Your sweet words bitter with her cigarette, her perfume in our bed. Her smoke, it makes it hard to see. You as you're laying in the streets. Her smoke blowing through your hair. It's everywhere. She's everywhere. I reach for your hand in the dark. Now I feel the rings on her fingers. Cover myself in you, hoping her touch it'll linger. Search your eyes for a moment. I know I can't replace. Search for warmth under your skin. And I feel the frostbite setting in. Darling, your smile lights my bedroom walls at night, but hers, it blinds the sun. My kisses, honey, dripping down. You'll see it rots us. We've lost us. I reach for your hand in the dark. And I feel the rings on her fingers.
Wow. This song is so layered. I'm like, who is she? I thought I understood it, and then I got to the end. And I was like, wait, actually, I don't think it's what I think it is. It's everywhere. She's everywhere. Hoping. That's the part that really confused me. Hoping her touch, it'll linger. I'm like, oh, wait, you want her everywhere. That's okay. Can you just tell me what it is? I'm like, I don't want to
It's
like.
actually about two different people.
Ah.
It starts with a parallel between the two people.
Okay.
And one of them is the person sitting right in front of me, and one of them is the person I picture instead sitting in front of me. And it's about how this person in front of me is just absolutely wonderful, and she's so sweet, and she's amazing, and all I can think about is
But you
how
wish it were
she's
someone else.
not who I want
Yeah.
in front of me right now.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, yeah, no, that makes more sense. Yeah. When it was, I was following until it got to, I wish it were her, and then I was like, oh, you want it to be. Her smoke is everywhere. Okay, so this is different. Clearly, very, very different than what we had with Mari, right? And you have a very unique challenge in the sense that the piano is slightly facing upwards. You have an entire giant instrument between you and the audience, and this is something that often happens. This is why a lot of singers end up doing guitar, because they can face the audience as they do it. I would say one thing that you don't need to do is make sure that you are making eye contact, because of the way it's this, not just, and because of the way this song is and the story that you're telling, you don't need to worry about that. I think if this were like, if you call out my name, then you'll know, like that, yes, then look for us to sing along with you, you know, but like this is not a sing along. I would say if you want to and you feel the need to, I would put it maybe like here, just enough where I would say, look where the piano for the keyboard is right now and play. And just let me see where your eyes are. That's great. That's great. Good. So we'll see the profile of your face and we will see your eyes, which is very important. We want to make sure that we can see eyes, right? That's how we connect to you. But you don't need to turn more than that, especially because the piano stuff is so complicated and you're going to be looking down to get the bass notes and all that. Just keep it that. And I would say for you, you don't have to sing more intimately for this song, right? Especially at the very beginning, unless you really wanted to give a full force. I think it's actually more alluring if you let us kind of fall into it, right? Yeah, because the chorus doesn't come in till I reach for your hands, right? Then pull back. Pull back, because what that does when you come in softly is it creates this kind of vacuum, right? It creates a space in which we are going to lean in. We're going to lean in to try to catch you. Once we actually have leaned in to catch you, then you can push back on us. And then the chorus becomes louder, and then we're like, oh, this is where you are. Does that make sense? So even in your playing, I think you can play a little lighter. Let's try that and see if this right here is enough for you. And think about, and that's where your eyes are, but I want you to sing with the intimacy of literally if I were standing where your mic stand is, and you're singing to that person, okay?
Arms her touch, your kiss her love. Lay my head on your chest.
Great. Okay. So right there, what you did with how you played the keys right there, you feel that softness to it?
Yeah.
Start the song with that. Okay? And I think you gave a little too much away when you did you as you're laying in your sheets. It's such a beautiful part of your voice, and I think you have such power, and it's great, but I think it took away from the chorus. If you wait and you wait and you wait until we get to the chorus, and then you give us right there with the I reach for your hands in the dark, it's gonna be like, like earn the forte. Okay? Everything should be like mezzo piano, then maybe mezzo forte, and then give us until the chorus. Okay? Because you are accompanying yourself, you have the ability to be more free with your timing and with your expression. Use that to your advantage. And I think even just at the beginning, I would say like, your arms her touch, your kiss her love, lay my head on your chest, feel her heart in my lungs. Okay, so right at the beginning, where are you? What is this? What room are you in?
I'm in like it's more like it's almost like a balcony.
It's a balcony. It's a secluded balcony, and it's just you. What is the temperature?
Cold. It's like
It's cold, right? You're talking about frostbite, right? It's cold, and is your head on her chest? Is that right?
that's more metaphorical, but
Sure, but for our purposes, let's make it literal.
Yeah.
Right? Because something has to be happening.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I would say like, I am going to use you if that's okay. So we're really talking about having a conversation, right? If I'm talking to you right now, this is the way that I would be talking to you. Someone that I am intimate with, I would be having a conversation with you at this level. This is how we're talking. As I'm looking at you, I'm imagining somebody else. As that's happening, and you can look into my eyes don't close because I don't want you to know that I'm imagining someone.
Right.
Does that make sense? If I start the song like this, with you next to me, this is pretty sus, right? Like I gave the game away, right? The time in which you get to the chorus, that's when you get to turn. That's when you get to be like, okay, I get to express my heart. I get to express the truth. But let's keep the beginning a secret. Okay? Let's have you look straight out, but the person is right here. Okay? Do you have names for these people?
yeah.
Okay. You don't have to say them. Let's give them nicknames. We'll.
Celine. Great.
Okay, so when I say Celine, you'll know who I'm talking about, okay? So, Celine is staring straight at you. How would you sing that differently? Don't give away the secret,
Okay.
okay?
Yep.
Your arms, her touch, your kiss, her love. Lay my head on your chest, feel her heart in my lungs. Your sweet words bitter with her cigarette, her perfume in our bed. Her smoke, it makes it hard to see.
Softer, 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 softer. I know, it feels really good. Softer.
Her smoke, it makes it hard to see. You as you're laying in my everywhere. I reach for your hand.
There, yeah.
Now feel the rings on her fingers. Cover myself in you. Hoping her touch it all lingers.
Great. How does that feel? Much better. That feels much better, and it feels very different, right? I'm gonna try it one. Okay, we have time. We're gonna try. Do the beginning, and just look at me.
Okay.
I know, it feels super vulnerable, but this is a game here, right? Don't give away the secret. So give me nothing in your face to give away the fact that I'm not anything close to what you want, right? Don't let me know that.
Your arms hurt, touch your kiss hurt. Lay my head on your chest. Feel her heart in my lungs. Your sweet words bitter with her cigarette. Her perfume in our bed. Her smoke, it makes it hard to see. You as you're laying in my sheets. Her smoke blowing through your hair. It's everywhere. She's everywhere.
Good, now tell the truth.
I reach for your hand in the dark. Now feel the rings on her fingers.
Great. How does that feel?
Much better.
Yeah, it's very different, right? Now we're gonna add another layer. Okay, really sell the lie to me. So at the very beginning now, I want you to flirt with me. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Just see what happens.
Okay.
Your arms hurt, touch your kiss her low. Lay my head on your chest. Feel her heart in my lungs. Your sweet words bitter with her cigarette. Her perfume in our bed. Her smoke, it makes it hard to see. You as you're laying in my sheets. Her smoke blowing through your hair. It's everywhere. She's everywhere. I reach for your hand in the dark.
Good.
Now feel the
Now tell the truth.
rings on her fingers. Cover myself in you. Hoping her touch it'll linger. Search your eyes for a moment. I know I can't replace. Search for her warmth on your skin. And I feel the frostbite setting in.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, you feel the difference? So what we're doing there is we're playing the opposite, right? The song is so clear about what you want, and yet we're looking at the song and it's about duality. It's about being with somebody that you don't want to be with and having those two parallel things happening. So let's play the parallel, right? Otherwise, it's a sad song. and it's you know, it really sucks to be in that position. So I want you to really sell Celine at the beginning, because that makes it so much more heartbreaking when you get to open up and you just let the bottom drop. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, great job.
Thank you.
Great job. Let me see. Okay, so yeah, basically what I would say is thank you so much for being vulnerable with all of that. I love that we had two very different examples, because I would say, you know, one person's job is entertainment and to get people on their feet and to be excited. And I think, Mara, you did a great job with that. The principles are still the same. You still have a job to do. And I think the thing that is really easy to forget, I think, when you do something that is actually, yes, it is introverted and it is very personal and it is all you, is that it's easy for us to still get in our head and to forget that, like, you still have to take the same concept of what is it that I want, right? But it's a little different, because I think at the very beginning of when you first started, you took a lot of what Mari and I worked on and then applied it exactly, which then kind of made it like, oh, no, this is not a sing-along. I don't know what's happening, right? It felt like you were like, I have to keep you involved, right? Okay, well, here I am, you know? And then it was like, it's okay. You can let that go. But the job that you have is a little different in the sense that you still have to keep us interested. So what I would do in a song like that is I would try to find in every single song that you perform. And it's true the most in musical theater, but it is also true in every single song that we do, pop, opera, regardless, in speeches and whatever. You have to build a story, you have to build an arc. Whether or not you perform that truthfully every single time, that's up to you. Like, that's fine. Not everybody is truthful all the time, you know, when we perform, because, like, I'm not gonna pull my heart out every single time I perform a song. However, if I've put in the work and I put in the meaning through it all, every single time I perform, I'm gonna at least try to find 1 or 2 moments of honesty. And that's all that we can hope for, right? And that's why we do it. If we're present, it's gonna hit you at one point, and it's gonna hit you and you'll be like, ugh, right? I think there was that definitely at one moment where I was like, flirt with me, you know? And then you were like, okay, yeah, we got it. And then all of a sudden, like, something flipped, and you were like, ooh, I don't like how this feels. Like, not just this is uncomfortable and this is weird, but more like, oh, I feel deceitful. I feel, this makes me feel not good. So then when you transitioned into the chorus, that was a gut punch, right? And we all felt that, because I kept saying, like, hold off, hold off, hold off. Don't go into your head yet. Don't let yourself say everything that you want to say. So we're basically now practicing having you withhold, so that when you get to the place where you can do, like, whatever, it feels really cathartic, and it also feels super gut-wrenching because you've forced yourself to hold it in this whole time. And that's what I love doing with every single song, right? We want to create waves. That's it. It's an arc, it's a wave, it's whatever. You just create something so that people either have to lean in or they look back and they go, whoa, what is that? And then they come back in, right? And that's all we're doing. But we can't give everyone the same dynamic, the same energy, the same every time. We have to earn that. You have to earn the fortissimo moments. We have to earn the piano moments. But you can create that all within one song. Great. Do we have any questions? Or I have like 6 minutes, right? I don't know. If you have anything, let me know. I'm just here. I can hang out for a little bit. Otherwise, thank you so much for sharing your time. And I look forward to hearing you in the future. And thank you for, I don't know who you are, but Thank you.
Yeah, just really want to thank you for working where each performer's at and with each specific song, because I think that it's interesting that one was an original song and the other song is a song that they learn in the rock class. So the difficulty can be how do I find my own way with this song? And I think that you came much closer to that rather than doing, I'm going to do this song. And it's tricky because in the class, it's like you got to get it the way the song is supposed to be so that you get the style. But then once you're done with that, now how do I, as an artist, make that mine? And I feel like you just connected much more with that, Mari. So, and the sensitivity of singing to somebody, I just really loved that. Of being with one person and thinking of somebody else is tricky as a songwriter, but as a singer and a performer, and allowing us to feel that vulnerability of the duplicity and you're being sincere about being insincere. Whoa. Yeah. So thank you so much for not only the career stuff, which is really helpful, the specifics about what to do and how to go about that, but also then how to perform and how to be a real person that people can then engage with. Because if you don't have this, doesn't matter how long your mailing list is, there's no there. When they arrive, they're not seeing a human being that is engaging like that. So we do the business, we do the growth work and the courage to be vulnerable. We have to do that inner work too. Man, you just said so much. Thank you so much. Please, one more time, give it up for Kenton. Thanks again.